What's good, guys? I am back at it again with another Pinterest tutorial. I thought I was done with it, but you know what? I started to decide to look at things that I want to learn for myself more, I guess. Like, I'm really passionate about shoes. I really want my characters to have like dope shoes. Like, I love Nikes, but the thing is, I'm poor. Like, artists coming from the ground up. I can't afford these shoes, but I love looking at them. I think the only shoes that I ever bought that was Nikes. My very first Nikes I ever bought. Oh my god, it cost me so much money because it was such a limited edition thing. Where you guys remember the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, right? Yeah, and Nike had a deal with the movie, and they came out with their own exclusive Spider-Man Nikes, and me being a big Spider-Man fan, and like I feel like if it wasn't for Spider-Man, I would be a totally different person. Overall, like I'm such a big fan of Spider-Man. You guys have no idea. Like I have a sleeve of Spider-Man tattoos like on its way. I got like a good, I'll say 35% of my arm covered in Spider-Man tats. But yeah, dude, those shoes cost me about like $800. It's insane. And then like what made it even worse is that the next couple days later, because I couldn't get it at launch, the prices of the shoe dropped because I guess they had like a ton made and it wasn't as limited as people thought it was. I think if you go on xstock.com right now or xstock on the App Store, you would probably see that the shoes are still pretty expensive. Like $600 to $700, I believe. Yeah, the price is insane. But I man, I love them so much, and I wanted to incorporate like at least some of my art into the urban styles of like stylish shoes, stylish everything, even the clothes that I know I can't afford at this moment, especially because of Rona. Shout out Rona 2020, shutting down everything. But yeah, so I went on Pinterest, and you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to draw shoes. And to lo and behold, my surprise is that there's not that many Pinterest tutorials on shoes. So I decided to teach myself and understand the pattern of the shoe, looking at a few tutorials here that even talks about the shape of the shoes. Not really a lot to go off on. It's freaking ridiculous. So ridiculous. And yeah, I understand like the design and the pattern of the shoe, and I kind of went behind this practice like kind of backwards way. I found out a better way of approaching this, and I'll talk about it further on as I go. But yeah, I did some speed studying here where I would look at a shoe for 10 to 15 seconds, take off the reference, and try to draw it from memory, and that worked out very well. So using speed studying as a way to understand something, I highly suggest that you start doing this as a form of practice for yourself. So if there's anything that you want to learn how to draw, like and study how it looks and how it works, really just look at the reference for like 10 to 15 seconds and take away the reference, then try to draw what you remember, and compare and contrast after you're done drawing. And if it doesn't turn out right, then go back and do the same thing. Look at it for 10 to 15 seconds, take it away, or even make it harder for yourself. Look at it for like 5 seconds, like shorten the time so you can just really try to get much of an eyeful of what you're trying to do. So that helped me so much when it came to doing this. And that was basically my first approach. My second approach would be that I eventually, at some point in time, I started to understand the shape of a foot. I kind of know like a rough guess of like what feet would look like. I always just make them into like basic shapes, and then I paint on top of it and say, those are shoes. Don't ever look at that. The main thing that I want people to look at is like the upper portion of the body. I'm trying to make sure that you guys get the whole sense of the idea of the design. But if I want to like illustrate something and have it look really well, then I have to pay so much love and attention to the areas that I suck at drawing. So I went back to square one, and I eventually started picking up some feet tutorials here and there. And there's tons of tutorials out there for drawing feet, which is pretty great. Some have a lot of details, and a lot of them don't really have much to talk about when it comes to the sheep fates. The feet shapes. Yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. I'm still pretty geeked about this. Like I was in such disbelief that, like, since I learned how to draw some simple Nikes, I'm able to take that blueprint or that same design aspect, like the shape of it overall, and apply it to other shoes that still fit the same genre of design and style and type, but like with a few little differences here and there. And here, this is what I'm talking about. So I broke down the foot using people's tutorials into 4 quadrants. You know, you have your heel, you have the top bridge of your foot, and then you have your toes. And just for added measure, add in the ankle too. So understanding the shape of the foot also helps with designing the shoes that go in it. I just started copying and pasting some of these references here, and I separated them, and I colored it just to really like get it in my mind, and then I drew on top of it and really try to understand like the shape of the foot and how like the shoes will fit in. The toes are not going to be touching the ground. You have your soles to that give you support, and then the back of the shoe has like a little curve to it to accentuate your heel. Keep it nice and comfy. After that, I just have fun. After I learned how to draw the basic Nikes like I did before, I started adding stuff on top of it and mix matching different shoe styles and stuff like that to it, even changing the colors. And with that, like, I just started experimenting, having fun, and I think this is like one of the best ways that I have ever learned or taught myself how to do something. Understanding the anatomy first, then understanding the shapes of it, and then understanding like more of the shapes of whatever you want to draw on top of it. Worked out so well. It worked out so well that I even made a better Pinterest tutorial on my process on drawing shoes. It's I'm still really geeked on this as I'm recording, but we said I made my own Pinterest tutorial on like my entire process. It's a full, like, concrete, detailed explanation of how I got to point A to point B. And that's all I ever want in these goddamn Pinterest tutorials. And any tutorial that I need to read to like learn something, I want something that gives me a lot of information and maybe the thought process behind it. That's what I want. And you might get that in some of these tutorials on Pinterest, but like they could be in a different freaking language and you will never understand that unless you take classes so you can decipher whatever the hell they said. That is like my biggest pet peeve about all these things. So I think what I'm going to be doing from now on is that I'm going to take these tutorials that like that's not like really much of, and just elaborate on them. So I ended up taking a lot of references from different tutorials and added them together, and I made my own tutorial out of it. And as you see, I'm basically working out the blueprint here, where I'm just drawing the different feet shapes and just making sure I got like the quadrants right, and then I just add on top of it. For a lot of the shoes, man, like it takes some time to like get them nice and crisp, but like it's so gratifying. And that's basically it, man. I'll have the link to my Gumroad on my tutorial down below in my description section. Give this video a like if you really liked it, and please let me know your thoughts on the entire thing. Really like to hear your feedback on stuff, and I understand that some of you guys want some more Krens Kuchart or Kim Jung-gi tutorials, or like some breakdowns or whatever my thought process is on it, and those are coming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.